I did the thing. Look at that.
Hello, everybody in Facebook Live land. We are the Podguyz Podcast, bringing it to you live as we do every Monday night, 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. Freaking Facebook, I hate you. You had to update shit.
Oh.
Also with Zoom. Ugh.
Just agree to all the terms of service. Do whatever they want. Take everything. Just get the show going. You know, just
God dang it.
Point and click desperation. We've all been there before.
I hate it. I hate you.
Except Tony, whenever something says like, hey, you want to just update me? You don't have to do anything personally. Just click the update button. Or if you're an idiot, remind you later. I'm like, fuck you. Remind me later. Every time.
That'd be great. Something. Anything would be great. Anyways, I am Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neary here.
Of course, we have the ever-loving Picasso, the doer of the dead, the don'ter of the living.
Okay. All right. Now I guess Sparky is now a necrophiliac, according to Tony's introduction right there. He's
he is La Sparky.
Oh, look at that. He says hi for our non-viewing audience out there. He's got the letter H there and went out to buy a vowel. And Tony, who do we have right down there?
Well, we are joined by a four square today. We have the very lovely Nicole de Meneses. Look, I didn't mess that up. Thanks
for having me, Tony. I appreciate it.
I know. Every once in a while, I get a pat on the head, you know?
He's got it. He got the whole name right and everything. We're running. That's the only reason we're running late today is because Zoom had to update, which is fine.
Ugh.
So, Nicole, tell us about yourself. We know that you're here because you have a really original idea and trailer made out and movie basically shot for the movie. What is it? Dead in Love, Tony. Am I right on that one?
Dead in Love. You are correct, sir.
Yeah, Dead in Love. It's a bisexual paranormal rom-com. I don't know if you've seen one of those recently, Tony, but
no. And you know what? Thank God.
I haven't actually.
That's just the thing. There's no original scripts out there. My one buddy says, oh, well, Hollywood should pay these writers. And I'm thinking to myself, I had to comment. I said, what are they writing? They're picking up a comic book sometimes and saying, this is a script, and it's not. So Hollywood found a way to pay writers less by having everybody basically compete over each other. And now you're basically seeing the undercutting of undercutting to undercutting happen in the entertainment industry, where
especially now where everybody's on strike and all these writers
they're on strike
for basic rights.
They're on strike because ChatGPT can write a script the same as they can, and you don't have to pay the robot to do it. You just have to throw out some words. Like script writing is something that should be taken seriously. It's a delicate process, but when you're watching every movie that's been coming out for the past 20 years, and we don't get one bisexual rom-com of the afterlife until now.
How dare they?
God almighty. Tony, it's a bunch of bullshit. I've been waiting for something like this now. If everybody were to see the trailer.
And not to say anything, Kev, not to cut you off, but we are huge supporters of the LGBTQ community.
We're just supporters of humans that are not bad people.
Are.
Just be a fucking decent human. Just be decent. If you like an original script. Now, Nicole, where is that trailer? Where can we find the trailer? Because I saw the trailer and I'm like, it has that Beetlejuice kind of feel to the afterlife. Not like in the CGI kind of way where that kind of ruined the whole thing, in my opinion. But
if you go to deadinlovefilm.com, you'll be able to see the trailer. You can submit your email for updates. We will fill you in on festival dates and possible dates in cities near you.
Which is pretty exciting. Now, how long have you been working on this particular film?
This one came together pretty quickly, actually. I started writing it during the official start of the pandemic when everything shut down. I was all set. I had a different script. I was all set to make a different first feature. And then when everything shut down and came to a halt, I had to pivot. I had to write something that could be contained to one location. And I wrote the story fairly quickly and then was pitching for about a year, trying to get some outsider support, pitching on places like Stage 32, And I'm a regional filmmaker. I'm out in the Bay Area, and I was trying to galvanize support in my community. And but it got to the point where if I wanted to wait for somebody else to give me permission, I'd be waiting forever. So I had to give myself permission. And so I wrote the part for actors that I knew, talented theater actors that were hungry for their first feature film role. And so actually a lot of the actors in this film, they have gone on to act in other movies that are in post-production. So when this film comes out, they'll have a couple other films under their belts, and they're definitely on the rise. They're commercial actors that maybe you've seen schlepping like soda or beer or on some Hulu commercial, but talented individuals that are on the rise, and it'll be really fun when this project's out there so people can see it.
From the trailer alone, there seemed to be a natural chemistry between majority of the scenes that I was watching. Now it's a trailer, so I'm not seeing the whole movie, obviously, but from a majority of what was seen so far, it seems that there is a natural dialogue, should I put it that way, between both people. So did you write that dialogue, or did you allow the actors to kind of form it the way that they would want to say it for how they interpreted the characters?
No, I definitely wrote the script, and then there was some wiggle room to make it their own in the scene, but for the most part they stayed to the script. I will say this though, the entire cast is predominantly Latinx, and we worked with a local nonprofit theater group called Latinx Mafia in Oakland.
What is Latinx? I have no idea what that is, and I'm sure
it's just it's Latin without the male or female emphasis, but Latin as a whole of a person, however they choose to identify. So the more modern Latin version might like to identify as Latinx because they don't want the male equivalent. So that's why people call it Latinx.
Okay. All right. So yeah, they don't want the stereotypes that go along with genders to define themselves through other people, something like that.
A little bit, but Latinx Mafia in Oakland, they a very inclusive theater group, and just in terms of queer identities in theater and promoting other Latin performers. So
nice. Now, do you not necessarily do you see, especially out in California, like it's a very, very diverse multicultural experience, every nationality. Now, not necessarily do you see a lack of diversity, especially from the Latin community in your area?
Well, specifically with this movie, I definitely saw a lack of Latin representation in LGBT movies in general. So if I want to be a part of that change, I had to write content and make content that I wanted to see. I'm a big fan of Robert Rodriguez. Going back to the 90s when he came on the scene, he wasn't seeing the content that he wanted to see. He had to invent his own Latin hero. He is still making Latin content for, families and just inclusive content to bring in audiences, because at the end of the day, the promise of a movie is entertainment. The promise of genre is that you're going to be entertained by this genre. And so if you respect the genre, if you respect the movie as entertainment, you can't help but enjoy whatever movie you make. You're going to connect with that audience. At least that's that was my goal with my movie. I wanted to make a movie that was very specific to me and what I wanted to see. But at the end of the day, I want you to enjoy it as an audience member.
So what you're saying is, if you build it, they will come.
Hopefully, it's a romance, so there's a lot of things going on in this romance. These ghosts get up to some sexy stuff, which is kind of fun.
Now, the one is a ghost, and the other one is a living person that can see the ghost, right?
Well, the setup in the trailer is that bisexuals have a superpower that they can hear ghosts. Cool. There is a trope called the magical bisexual.
So
we're playing off of that trope in this movie.
The magical. Okay. Well, for our listening and viewing audience, could you get into the trope of the magical bisexual? Because that sounds just very interesting. If there's an origin to that, or where did it come from at all? Because there's a lot of intrigue right there from my.
If you watch Lost Girl, anything from Canada that is genre based, usually we'll have some magical bisexual fighting superheroes or fighting mythical creatures, and doing it sexily and having a boyfriend or girlfriend or two.
What the hell have I been missing out on my entire life?
No, the Canadians, they're just hip. They're hip to it. Yeah, go watch some old episodes of Lost Girl and see what
Canadians are like. They will accept the bisexuals only if they have magic.
Okay, so specifically, Lost Girl is a succubus, and she sleeps with a werewolf. She sleeps with a scientist,
Nice.
and so just a mix of whoever has that sexual energy, because she is just in need of replenishment after a battle. So
My Pornhub browser is going crazy right now.
Yeah, Tony keeps his Alexis on for Pornhub searches, so it's probably just it's logging all this whole conversation right now, which is great. It's very convenient. Thank you, Alexis.
Well, just speaking of like filmmakers in general, I've always been a big fan of Greg Araki. Greg Araki was a part of the new queer cinema movement in the early 90s. He was responsible for there's a trilogy. One is called Totally Fucked Up. The second one was called The Living End. No, wait, I'm sorry. Doom Generation, and then Nowhere. James Duvall was in all three of these movies. Greg Araki would go on to make Mysterious Skin. He's very talented director, has done several other things since, but he was always a fan. He's an openly bisexual man, and most of his characters are participate in unconventional coupling. And so I remember seeing Doom Generation in high school, and the movie was one of those. It's a road trip movie. It's a movie about like sheltered suburban kids who they go on this road trip of murder with a sexy killer, and you're like, what is this movie? And I found it at Blockbuster, and the Blockbuster version is the really like sanitized rated R version. And they've since released a director's cut that's been playing at all the festivals.
Wonder why Blockbuster went out of business, right?
Yeah, there's no real like mystery of why Blockbuster went out of business, right? So you go to a Blockbuster, they never have the videos that everybody doesn't return on time. And then you're there like, hey, do you want to pay movie prices for everything in our store when literally we're in the same fucking strip mall as a grocery store? Like, the whole idea was just built to collapse. And people are like, hey, we should bring Blockbuster back. Go ahead, do it. Remind yourself how terrible it was to go to the Blockbuster and realize that every movie out there is owned by Disney now. Go ahead. I want you to.
Though, I don't like that streamers will get rid of a movie and you can't find it anywhere. There are several movies that especially LGBT movies, that just disappear. So I end up buying physical copies, DVDs on eBay. It's cheaper to buy a physical copy than to rent it.
Yep.
And you get the DVD commentary, you get all the special features. It's worth it.
Yeah, it's easier for movies to edit out certain scenes as well. I mean, a lot of people have been complaining and online that I've seen that the Simpsons episodes have been cut out here and there. I guess Paramount hasn't done anything to South Park, but apparently Paramount thinks that their audience doesn't have basic needs like deodorant and toilet paper, because those are the ads that seem to run through Paramount, even when you get Paramount Plus, according to several people that work for the company, are glitches they just can't get out. You hear that, Tony? They can't get the glitch of commercials out of their app. So, and they're still charging people for that idea, which is just insane. So, the competence there is just insanity. Recently, Paramount came out saying that they are going to cut their dividend in half. As far as the stock market world, that's called pulling an AT&T. So, who used to own HBO streaming service, until they're like, let's just brand all of our crap that doesn't work over here now.
Just talking about movies in general and how you guys like to watch movies. Do you like the ads, or are you trying to pay more like on Hulu to not have the commercials? Because when you watch a movie, you want to be invested and involved, right? You don't want to have those ad breaks. You tell me, what do you want?
So I don't mind a YouTube ad if I can skip through it in 5 seconds, right? I don't mind it at all. I can I'll watch a movie twice or 3 times over if I really like it, or if specific scenes that I really like or enjoy the movie. So I don't really mind the ads too much. But then again,
we take the opposite stand for it. Kev.
I know you will, Tony, because you're the same guy that buys different cups that say they keep your drinks colder. joking.
You know what? And I am. I am. It's not like you're wrong. I feel like you're already spending the money into the streaming service. Now, if you were on a free streaming service, such as like a Tubi or like Freevee or like wherever you're going for any type of free TV services, I think that you can get away with ads for that whole situation. But if you're already paying money once a month into like your Netflix, your HBO, your Disney Plus, whatever you may be doing, I mean, you're already spending your money, but they're also telling you that you need to pay for commercials or you need to pay to get rid of commercials as well. No, you can't double dip. And
that's what Paramount does. Paramount double dips. Disney doesn't.
Of course
do
they do. Of course,
because it's Paramount.
It's scumbaggy.
And here's the scumbag part that Paramount does on top of the whole idea. If you want to rewind a little bit, right, just like 2-3 minutes, then they're gonna get another ad. Exactly, and that's like, so you just take the product of what YouTube.
That's shitty
made,
business
right?
for me.
Well, no, you take the product that YouTube made and don't fuck with it. It's a pretty good product. It's popular for a reason. So you can play copy and paste. No big deal. Just steal Netflix's idea. If it's something that customers were already drawn to, why in God's name are you trying to squeeze an extra buck or two out of the goddamn thing? I'll never know. So,
well, my point is that I'm wondering, how am I gonna get my film out there? Because I was telling you guys before we started this, film is an experience. I want people to it's going to be a conversation. I want to have a conversation after the film. I want people involved with the characters. And if the film is peppered with ads for different things that have nothing to do with the movie, you're distracted. Yeah. And so an indie movie like mine is usually not going to get a theatrical unless I four-wall
if it goes on YouTube and there's ads, I'll watch it, no problem.
Yeah.
Especially with the dynamic with the original script that's already out there. Ads are not going to deter me from, what deters me from clicking a movie off is when I see Jim Carrey on a fucking acoustic guitar singing, "Wish you would step back from that." It's like, there you go. I'm out, Bruce Almighty. Fuck you. Yeah. What the hell happened here?
No. See, Kevin, we've had previous directors, writers, content creators on our show. And after we've talked to them, they've always told us that they've always gone through Amazon. So if you go through Amazon, not only do you get like some great content for your movies, but I think as a creator, you get a big, or not necessarily a big cut, but I guess you get a cut.
You don't get a big cut. Amazon
not a big cut. Not a.
You don't get a
Amazon
big,
does not support its filmmakers.
Correct. Yeah. You don't get a big cut, but you do get the recognition of being in somebody else's algorithm. Correct. So you get that suggestive sale thing going on the bottom right there. If they bought something like XYZ, they might buy ABC sort of thing, right? So you do get that. I'm not
saying that the cut is any,
and that isn't the only.
Throw your life.
No, Tony, you're not. No one's. I'm not a. Listen, it's cheaper than paying your very limited cut from Amazon is cheaper than paying buku bucks for advertising any day of the week. Although you'll still have to pay for that too. You just have to go through every outlet possible: Facebook, YouTube, Amazon, Tubi. Throw it at every wall, because at the end of the day, if you do make $1 to $1 million, you're still out there even more, and you got an audience. Napoleon Dynamite didn't make crazy amounts of money because they screwed over what's his face? God, Hader, I think his last name is. No, but anyways, they screwed him over, especially on the merchandising and crap like that. But it still allowed him to make more money from that point with that ice skating movie with fucking Will Ferrell, and like he just made bad movie after bad movie after that. But it still made actually Blades of Glory was pretty funny. I didn't mind it.
Horrible. No, but I'll say this: Napoleon Dynamite, though, I think they made that for $1 million or $2 million. So that's still a fairly expensive indie movie.
Of course, of course.
You, I mean, to present a budget, you have to present how much budget you made, you used to make the movie, just to get accepted into these film festivals like Slam Dance and Sundance Film Festival. Just for small example sakes, we're not. If I were to list them all, that would be the whole podcast because there are so many different film festivals out there.
Well,
So
I'm planning on specifically targeting genre festivals and LGBT festivals. Like the LGBT festivals, it's not that big a stretch. There's that niche market that wants that content. But I really want to target. I want more of a broad appeal.
But Nicole, we are saying that this trailer is so good, you don't even have to hit the niche market. You could just put it out there, and it would be that good.
That's what's going to be fun about going to festivals, to connecting with the audience and see if they respond to it.
They will. Well, it wouldn't. I see. It always. It would probably. Now you're going to hit with those audiences, right? And if you don't, well, whatever. Then that's whatever. But if you're hitting with an audience that you're not even seeing right here. I'm a straight white guy, and I like the concept of the movie just by watching the trailer alone. I'm being completely honest with you. I'd be picking the goddamn thing apart if I wasn't. Tony already knows I'm too neurotic not to. I've done this to so many different people that have come on here. But there's the audience that you would expect to come out there and, support it, not support it, like a scene, not like a scene, or whatever. And then there's myself, there's Tony, and of course there's Sparky right there, which probably has a movie. He probably has many movie concepts of his own anyways. And he does. Oh, he does have a movie concept of his own. Well, Sparky, do you want to show our guest, Nicole, meneses? And there's Sparky's script right there about a movie about a ghost chase. Only need a quarter for a budget. Wow. Look at that. And if you're thinking it looks like the Pac-Man movie, don't give Disney any fucking ideas.
No, that is not Pac-Man. That is Podcast Man chasing after the ghost.
There you go.
Oh, okay. All right. Podcast Man chasing after the ghost. Wow, Tony, way to dollar store the fucking Pac-Man. We got Pac-Man at home. No, I wouldn't limit yourself to just one niche, because I think that it's a really good trailer. And as far as movies go, it's something I haven't seen before, but just by watching the trailer, I would watch more of it, because the acting seems to be, if you directed the scenes. So I'm guessing if you actually gave a shit, which is fucking refreshing as all hell, because there's a quality control.
I was going to say it's the first feature, so it's allowed to be a little personal. And I've been telling people it's the first pancake. We're just trying to make something that tastes good for people, and then we're going to move on and do other things. But whenever you do your first big feature, it should be personal. You should care about it. There's a reason, just writing this at the top of the pandemic. I don't know about you guys, just being trapped in your house is really lonely, not knowing when you get to see your family, your friends again, get to touch, reach out and touch somebody or go on a date. And so all those feelings, all those real world feelings, putting that into a story that hopefully more people can relate to.
Nicole, believe it or not, we just touched ourselves while we were in these squares right here.
Yeah, we were doing the Zoom thing. It was we were super busy for the whole pandemic, because we were getting all sorts of new viewers, and which was great, and by the way, 2020 was just every fucking day was a headline. You had Donald Trump and Dr. Fauci. By the way, both are pretty terrible people. Put them both in the same room. They're both on the same level. I don't understand how there's Dr. Fauci people and then there's Donald Trump people, because they're both the same scumbag. I don't get how there's Joe Biden people and there's Donald Trump people. Guys, they're both the same guy. It's both the same brand of oatmeal sort of thing. My opinion.
Just a different flavor.
I have my opinion, but I have many facts to bring up with these opinions. Well, the last time we saw Dr. Fauci during a pandemic was the HIV/AIDS pandemic, where he says, "Try not to be black or gay, and you won't get it." And I'm shortening up of what he said.
You're definitely paraphrasing.
I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah.
I want to try and bring it back to movies, though, because I'm sure.
Let's bring it back to movies. Yeah,
I'm sure you guys saw a lot of terrible.
We're not making it political. We're not making it.
Saw a lot of terrible pandemic movies where people are wearing the masks in the movie, and I didn't want to date my movie. Like, the movie can be about the pandemic without seeing a fucking mask.
That's true.
Well, you have the opportunity to there was Love in Quarantine, which was we had Aaron's on here, and so yeah, you can, I mean, you can always address the situation, but or you can do what you did and just say, hey, we have an opportunity here to just pick one set, keep it very close location, and still present something to an audience. And if you're watching the trailer, and if the whole movie is just in that house alone, it still works. It's still a workable concept.
Yeah. I mean, we were at a point.
It was a really nice house in Livermore, and my sister's father-in-law was kind enough to let us shoot there over the course of 3 months. It was 12 days over 3 months, and he could have been a jerk and been like, "Get out of here," but
get out of here.
Worked out. He's retired. He actually there's a scene I think in the trailer with a fire dancer, and that was his favorite. He stayed around for the fire dancer scene. He's like, where are they going with it? They hired a fire dancer. What's going on with this? And he's
that's pretty cool. I'd stick around for that.
So he's a retired gentleman. He's a little older, and so it was a little fun. Like, oh, he wants to see the fire dancer. Okay.
No, I'm sure you guys have some excellent gag reels. Was there was there some hijinks on stage, or was it just all business?
I was gonna say the main cast got to be really close, so that there was a friendship chemistry. So much so that I think they were a little sad when the production was over. They're like, oh, I'm not gonna see these people for a while. But it was a small crew, and it was really fun to work with these people, and I'm looking forward to I'm trying to figure out how to make another one. Like I've already, raring to go to make another film.
Well, good.
Speaking of that, do you have any plans for future endeavors, and what would be your genre of choice going forward?
Yeah, I had another script that I had to put off to the side, and so I'm still that's the bigger movie that I want to do. It's the working title is called The Ghost of Stowe Lake, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with the folklore around Stowe Lake in San Francisco. Well, there's a very
we're
famous...
all East Coast, so.
Oh, okay. Well, with Stowe Lake in San Francisco, the folklore around this, the White Lady of Stowe Lake, is that 100 years ago, back before the big earthquake, this woman was walking her child around the lake in a stroller, and she sat down to rest her feet, and she drifted off to sleep, and the stroller made its way into the lake. She wakes up not knowing where her baby is, runs all around the lake, asking everybody she passes, have you seen my baby? Where's my baby? Day turns into night back into day. She still hasn't found her baby. The last place she looks is the lake. She walks into the lake and never comes back out. To this day, she is supposed to still be haunting that lake looking for her lost baby.
Wow.
And you can go to that lake at night and you can say the chant, white lady, I have your baby, 3 times, and she'll appear and she'll ask you. And if you say yes, you've seen her baby, she'll haunt you forever. If you say no, she'll kill you. You can't really win.
Damn.
But the setup with that one is that we follow a newly engaged couple that go to San Francisco for a romantic weekend, and they hear about this folklore. They go on a ghost tour, and it's never good to kick the hornet's nest, and they say the chant, and this ghost attaches to them for the weekend, and they have to try and get rid of it before they go back home.
That reminds me of the Legend of Mari Povich. Did you hear about that one or no?
No.
So the Legend of Mari Povich is once the baby is born, if you say Mari Povich, Mari Povich, Mari Povich 3 times, the actual father shows up.
That's fun.
He just comes back from getting milk.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know how I got here, but holy crap. Just appears.
Sparky, you have a great movie idea, don't you, sir? Still working on it.
He's working on it. You see, movies for Sparky take very little time. He just
now, Nicole, you talked about
coloring.
Of course,
Nicole,
you talked about your movie, your movie repertoire, of course, and you were talking about that you did some shorts as well. Talk a little bit about your short movies. What kind of stuff did you do in there?
Oh yeah, there's a really fun short film called Nightcap that follows a couple lesbian vampires. And
nice. Already sounds right up my alley.
we shot in San Francisco, a beautiful old Victorian house that had just wonderful sets. We only had about 6 hours to shoot the short because it was so expensive to rent the space. But they rent the space out for music videos and all these other things. So we got our production value in that space. But the setup of Nightcap is that, these two women are out for a fun night on the town. They come back home and a stalker is following them. And so the stalker actually gets more than they bargained for because they are not the meek and weak victim that he wants them to be. And so they turn the tables on him. And there's a vampire dog in it, and it's really like a short in that it's only 3 minutes, but it's played all around the world. It's played in Berlin.
Kevin's got his follow-up question already.
What kind of dog did you use? That's all I wanted to know. What breed of dog?
What's funny is that one of our actresses, she was a former playmate and she's a model, and she brought her dog, looks like a little fat bat. And so the dog just came with the actress. I'm not
You say a fat
sure
bat.
It looks like a little fat bat. It's black.
I'm not gonna lie there, Nicole. When you said lesbian vampires, I'm like, you shot a porno then, right? It's a porno.
Check out the trailer. You can watch the movie online.
And it's 3 minutes long, so that's like 3 minutes long, Tony. That's like fucking 3 TikToks right there. That's watchable, right?
There's a reason we can't put it on YouTube because of the nudity. We have a censored version.
What's the uncensored version?
Yeah, where's the uncensored version? We want to watch this shit.
I'll have to send it your way.
It's called Nightcap, right?
Nightcap. Yeah.
Perfect. You know where to message me.
That's a really cool. I like the title. The title's very drawn in. Are you the one that's writing these titles?
Yeah.
I love it. Do you just pick one and go with it, or do you have like a list full of titles and then you just go with that idea? What's your process to getting these perfect titles down here?
Yeah, usually if you can have something with a double meaning, that's always fun.
I like double entendres.
Yeah,
like we have Dead in Love, we have Nightcap. I mean, these are perfect.
Well, so one that's more straightforward in terms of it's dating in the zombie apocalypse, and it's a web series. It follows a couple lesbians through the zombie apocalypse, and it's shot like if you were watching Night of the Living Dead. So it's kind of aged to look very old, and it's black and white, and it feels like kind of that old like drive-in movie kind of feel to it.
I wanted to ask you, what is your least favorite movie of all time that you saw and it just took a piece of your soul that you never got back?
Probably Road to Wellsville. I remember walking out of that one. I didn't like that one at all.
Oh yeah, no.
It's so dense and boring, and that one just sticks in my mind of like, I don't think I didn't finish it. And usually I'm really good sport about finishing a movie. And
for people that aren't familiar with Road to Wellsville, I think that has what's his face in it, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, dude.
Matthew Broderick,
right? Yeah, Matthew Broderick, and it's about the Kellogg brothers to a degree, right? And they put it out there like it was a comedy.
Yeah, it just was not funny.
But it wasn't a comedy because there was nothing funny about it. It was, you know what? Inspector Gadget was more of a comedy than that. And that was garbage. But still, that was for the kids. That was like, you don't want to tell terrible jokes. This one has castration involved in the whole movie. And by the way, it was based on real events. People used to, if they were so depressed, Tony, while men are going through a certain change, there's less testosterone in the system and all that nice stuff that's happening to the human body. So Dr. Kellogg said to himself, and by the way, he deemed himself a doctor. He never went to fucking school. He just, he just had the power of suggestion there. So anyways, he says the reason that these men are so depressed is because there are demons inside of their penis that need to be cut out. Tony, go ahead. You're pointing in a direction, so I don't know. Go ahead.
I'm not interrupting you. I was just pointing.
Go. Well, what are you pointing at?
To lay Sparky.
Okay, Sparky, pull your thing real quick. Give us the baby. You can't have him. I got him on loan to pick up girls. Look at that. As you can see, it's a what appears to be a little pod guy man, and with the 3 ghosts right there. But yeah, Sparky's parroting something right there.
Is that one podcaster, three ghosts?
One podcaster, three ghosts. Like 3 men and a baby.
3 men and a baby. Yeah.
That was
3 ghosts and a podcaster.
That was just that was almost like when Gutenberg get together with Ted Danson and the dude that can't act but has a mustache.
Oh yeah.
What the hell? Tom Selleck. He's like he's always just playing Tom Selleck. He's never actually range acting. Have you ever noticed that about an actor, Nicole?
Yeah, well, that specific movie was it was a rip off of a French movie, so
yeah,
someone else did it better.
Nicole, in your honest opinion, do you think Hollywood is overrated? Right now, redoing movies, never trying to get new scripts, always trying to redo. How do you feel about that in Hollywood right now?
Yeah, I would love to see more original content. Unfortunately, a popular IP is winning the day, and I don't know how many more Batman movies we're going to get to sit through, and Spider-Man movies, and it's a little exhausting how many times they're going to remake those movies. I would definitely love to see more original content.
Don't forget, Rocky movies are still going out there, but now they're called Creed movies.
Well, so Rocky has to do his own thing because they haven't killed him off in the movie franchise. He is still allowed to live and exist in the universe. Stallone just has to direct his own versions of that.
That's true.
There was that one movie called Rocky with PTSD. They called it Rambo. You know.
I didn't mind Rambo. I didn't like the last one where they let's just kill and rape everybody he loves, and then he.
That was First Blood. Was basically just him fucking killing cops.
True.
Like you had Brian Donahue
killing cops with a mullet. Like that was a look. So
yeah, and there was like that's justified because that one cop was mean to him. It's like, dude, he killed like 30 cops.
No, wait, didn't he do that in like several other movies where he didn't play Rambo, but he played Rambo in the same movie, even though he didn't call himself Rambo?
You're right. It was the one was Cobra.
It was Cobra.
Yeah,
and then he had some ones recently where he played what the hell is shit, I forget the name of the movie.
The Expendables.
Well, there's all
franchise
the
there,
yeah,
where they were all like, "Hey guys, we're all pretty washed up right now."
I think it's called The Sentinel. The Sentinel.
The Sentinel?
If I remember correctly.
I don't like the scenes that I'm watching Sylvester Stallone play any mafioso type.
Ooh. All right.
Nicole, are you there? Did we lose her?
No.
Are you there?
Sorry about that. There was someone else in the room. So.
Oh, that's all right. What, do you want to invite somebody else on the show?
Bring him on.
That's all right.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's why I just went off for a second.
It's okay. It's okay.
The worst is when Rocky wanted to be a singer with Dolly Parton in the movie Rhinestone, because holy fuck. By the way, Dolly Parton, outstanding actress in that movie, really, just played herself and portrayed it on film perfectly. Stallone.
How about the best piece of shit movie of all time, Over the Top?
Hey, that had arm wrestling in it. What you guys are forgetting? Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. I mean, come on.
Oh, come on now. Stop or My Mom Will Shoot was going up against the Kindergarten Cop because they had to stay competitive with a little bit of humorous action movies going back and forth. Howard the Duck is a piece of shit, though. That has nothing to do with anything. But I just want to remind everybody that Howard the Duck was a pyramid scheme between George Lucas and Steven Spielberg and Jim Henson. They all got together. They're like, let's take everybody's money. they made Howard the Duck. Now they
brought him back for Guardians of the Galaxy. So Howard is still doing his thing and galaxies far, far away. There
is this reboot idea that has been pitched out there, and it's been going around the internet. I had to share it in the Podguyz Podcast page of Back to the Future, only shot today, and Marty has to go back to 1993. What do you think about that there, Nicole?
Who are they going to get to be Marty McFly? Like who?
I think they're just going to CGI
Tobey Maguire.
Michael J. Fox, Tobey Maguire. I'm not sure.
Are they going to let Eric Stoltz finish what he started years ago before he was fired, like, and just de-age him? What's going to happen?
I would do
That'd
it.
be great.
I mean, he would do it, and then everyone would be like, "Oh, no wonder they went with Michael J. Fox." Cool.
Michael J. Fox is great. I think they just should not touch. Leave the Back to the Future movies alone. Leave them alone.
If
do you find the lack of
that would be great if they redid the movies, Tony, right? And then they are just so terrible, and then the director says, "Well, if I had a time machine, I wouldn't make these things again." Oh wait.
No, wait, here's the ultimate question, Nicole. How do you feel about superhero genre, gay and lesbian inclusiveness with the superhero genre? Is that something that you would look forward into making as well?
I'd love to see that if we weren't relegated to sidekick characters. If we got to be the heroes in our own stories, that would be wonderful. But
why wouldn't you make it?
Oh, yeah, with all the money in the world that I have right now? Sure. Yeah.
If there's one thing I know about this world, you can also make up money out of thin air. It's called cryptocurrency. You just make it up out of thin air, and there you go. And then you have all the money in the world. Now, sure, some might call that fraud, whatever.
It's becoming more popular to make a movie and then not release it and then get your money back from that movie. So
yeah,
that is a popular thing going on. See, I think what's been going on, I think the reason why there hasn't been much of an introduction, more like it's easier to not write a script when it comes to superhero kind of stuff. And the script that you have right now is very watchable. I can't wait for the damn thing to come out, and then you should post it on the Podguyz Podcast Facebook fan page for sure. But our favorite guy has been in the news there, Tony. Am I right?
Who's that? Is it Ezra Miller?
It is Ezra Miller back
Ezra
in
Miller
the news again. Hey,
who's our favorite scumbag?
This guy can't stop. I mean, listen, it's in okay, so his fans are defending him. Ezra Miller's fans defend the Flash star against Jonathan Major comparisons. People saying nothing could be further from the truth. Now, you posted this, Tony. I'm just going to read it off here. Ezra Miller headlining The Flash is all set to release in June. Of course, we have our little nickname for him here, the Podguyz Podcast. We call him the Flash in the Peter Pan because it involves both the Flash character and not having fame for a long time, and Peter Pan that steals children through windows. So literally checks every box right there. With a massive critical appraisal and overwhelming audience appreciation, it is almost certain to be one of the biggest movies this year. However, one thing that remains to be certain yet is Ezra Miller's future in DC as Barry Allen after this, due to the constant controversies that have hounded the actor over the past couple of years. Now, it's not like controversies have hounded him as much as, holy shit, he keeps doing terrible things.
Stupid shit.
Incidentally, Marvel actor Jonathan Majors, too, got involved in a messy assault case filed by his ex-girlfriend in late March following an arrest. Although he is out of custody, his future in Marvel is in jeopardy as well, especially with a major U.S. military ad campaign featuring him being pulled out, two talent management companies dropping him, and also him being replaced with two major movies he was supposed to headline. As a result, although Miller and Majors' cases are highly different, Majors, if you remember, he didn't sexually assault her. He physically assaulted his wife or whatever, which is wrong. I would assume. I wasn't even there for it, but they got him on camera doing it, so it doesn't really pass the eye test on camera. But mind you, if you're going to rank crimes from assaulting your wife to stealing children, and off to Hawaii we go, underage children. So just throwing it out there.
Allegedly, Kevin. Allegedly,
he was found
and
guilty
starting a
of it,
cult.
Tony. He was literally found guilty of it in court. So there's no alleging anymore. They got him over the whole thing.
Yeah, they definitely got him.
So Ezra Miller's
they got him pinned up against the wall. He's
Well, Ezra Miller has this fan base that seem to defend him the same way pedophiles would defend Jeffrey Epstein. The rich pedophiles that would also not want to do it, where they're like, no, you can't have his dossier, sort of thing. So his fans aren't taking too kindly to those comparisons between the two, especially as Miller's The Flash co-star Michael Shannon recently commented that he enjoyed working with them on set, while Majors allegedly has a reputation for being problematic both on and off set. In a recent interview with Vanity Fair, Michael Shannon talked about his life off screen, future plans, and of course, reprising his role after years in The Flash and blah, blah, fucking blah. So I guess the big story right there is Ezra Miller has a fan base of people that are 1000% not Twitter bots.
I'm only going to watch The Flash to see Michael Keaton be Batman.
Yeah,
there is no way.
Should just call it Michael Keaton's Batman, and that's
Michael Keaton should have showed up. Michael Keaton should have dressed up like Batman to open up for Bill Cosby, because it just makes you forget about all terrible things around the next
all the
guy
horrible things that happened to Bill Cosby.
Right?
That's the same rationalization. Like, that's a crazy rationalization. People are gonna find that this movie is so good that you're going to forgive him for all his sins.
It doesn't look good. The story, it's repetitive in that, he's going to change time again. Have we learned nothing from the last couple Spider-Mans or
that's another
thing? Doctor Strange? It's the same movie again, just
right.
different characters.
100% right, Nicole. The dude's superpower is just one of 7 of Superman's powers. You got Hey, Superman, can you run as fast as Flash? No, but only by like 1 mile per hour less. Everything, and he can still fly and all that nice crap. He can still do everything.
Is Henry Cavill still Superman, or does he have to? Is there a spy movie he has to make with a mustache that during that time? Like, who?
That was also weird. Why wouldn't he just shave the mustache?
Yeah, that mustache was under contract.
Weird.
That was like $1 million mustache. He couldn't shave it.
$1 mustache. I mean, they could have just shot the movie correctly the first time, and he didn't have to go back for reshoots.
Yeah.
Where they had to make 2 different versions of the same movie and then blend them together and then try to just go ahead, Sparky, flip the board. Sparky versus the Super Ghost team. That's a picture of everything that's not a ghost. I'm guessing is Sparky, and he's holding something there. We're guessing it's a pillow. Only 5 ghosts. I don't know what you're holding.
That's
there,
his Infinity Gauntlet.
Huh? Oh,
That's
it's an Infinity Gauntlet. Oh, okay, because that's all that detail there, right? It should have known.
I mean,
Sorry, budget's too small.
Eye patch, there's a lot of detail there.
Yeah, there. Oh, yeah, I see it.
You got to throw in a
one of the
little
ghosts
bit
has
of
a Nick
Samuel L.
Fury eye
Jackson
patch
there.
for sure.
Well, Nicole, we are going to lay out the red carpet for you, sweetie. As far as, where are you going? Where can people get in touch with you if they want to donate to the, the fundage as far as getting these movies made? Where can they find them? Where can they find you? What can they do?
Yeah, we had a very successful campaign on Seed and Spark. Our campaign is over. We had a fiscal sponsor that we raised a certain amount of funds for post-production, but it's free to follow. You can go to Seed and Spark, look up Dead in Love, and you can follow the production as we continue to go on, as we go into festivals. You can go to deadandlovefilm.com to sign up for updates as well. And you can follow Dark Rainbow Films on Instagram to get updates on other projects that we're working on.
Awesome. How did you guys start Rainbow? What's
Dark
it called?
Rainbow Films?
Dark Rainbow?
Yeah, Dark Rainbow Films was started. It's named after a special category for Another Hole in the Head Film Festival. Is a really fun genre film festival out here in San Francisco, and they have a special category called Dark Rainbow Films for LGBT horror films. And so I always loved the name of that category, and I thought, well, when I start my company, no other company had that name, so I took that.
That is a very cool. She's fucking great with these names, dude.
I know. You definitely got the branding down.
Yeah, so I hope people continue to follow. I'm just looking forward to making more films and getting the work out there. Because, like I said,
we're waiting patiently. We want these films.
Tony, I did want to touch base on how Kevin Costner got divorced now. He's getting divorced, right?
Oh,
Rumor has it that his wife is going to just walk into a field and disappear from his life.
wow. Wow.
Isn't that terrible?
Field of dreams.
I was looking,
he can cry himself to sleep with all his money, right? I'm not feeling too bad for him.
No, I'm not. I just,
he did have some waterworks in there.
Yeah.
I don't really, I'm going through his IMDb because I'm like, what was Kevin Costner in that was good? Right? I'm trying to think.
He was actually just in something recently with Diane Lane called Let Him Go, where he's like this true blue salt of the earth kind of guy that wants to protect his grandson. And he's willing to die for his grandson. Diane Lane's his wife, and they go to war for the grandson. And it's a pretty cool, like, dark drama. But I was like, when I saw it, I was like, all right, Kevin, I'm team Kevin again. I'm back on board.
Yeah, but do you buy him as the kind of guy that would die for somebody where they're like, all right, we're gonna do it now? And he's like, oh, you sure?
Yeah, because he strikes me as someone who can fire a gun. He could drive a car really fast. He's not doing the Seagal thing where he's going to do like a high kick and in slow motion. He's someone who's going to get dirty. He's going to throw a punch. And him and Diane Lane, like they sell it as like as a true couple. Like I believe the story with them in this.
What's the name of the series that he's in right now? I know
Yellowstone.
Is that Yellowstone?
Yeah.
Actually, I really like the earlier versions of that like the prequel shows. 1923 is really good, and then there was like an 18 something one. But the continuation of those, the genesis of that family is really interesting.
Okay, so Let Him Go. I saw pictures of. I saw a trailer for that. It did seem like okay-ish, but
it was a rental. It's not on any streamers, I don't think, but it was a pretty good rental. So like, I like Diane Lane, so I was like, all right, I haven't seen her in anything for a while. I want to check it out.
I'll name some movies and tell me how much the needle moves for you with these Kevin Costner movies. I'm just going to list them off, Tony, and you can participate too as well.
Wait, are we going from 0 to 5 or 0 to 10?
I'm going to start off in 2007. Okay, so this is about 13 years worth of stuff.
Okay.
So we're leaving the window wide open here. 13 years is a fucking person right there. It's big enough to be a teenage kid. So we're going to start off with Mr. Brooks. Not really moving the needle. Right after Mr.
It's not great, but it's not great because his performance. You got Dane Cook in that movie. Why was Dane Cook in that movie?
Why was he there? Exactly. No, why is Kevin Costner there? It was 1,000. Listen, the script didn't feel bad. Everybody just felt so out of place. It's like Dane Cook and Kevin Costner, whenever in a scene together, they were in two separate movies.
Yeah, the typecasting was off, but the premise isn't bad. It's not a bad premise.
You're right. Yeah, the premise isn't bad. That's why that's the reason I watched it. I was watching it on YouTube with the ads, no big deal. And I said, "Oh, well, this seems to be okay. I wonder if Costner can pull off the character." And my opinion, he didn't come close to pulling off any kind of character like that. And Dane Cook,
he was a little sleepy. He was too subdued. He seemed like it was bad casting, but I like the initial premise. I remember seeing it in the theater. The whole storyline with the daughter, the idea that the daughter could be a killer was a cool idea.
The next one up, Swing Vote.
There
you go. Yep.
It's because it's placating to the audience. It's placating in the worst kind of way. In like
that one, you don't even like you. I wonder who actually goes to the theaters and says, "Hey, we're gonna go and see the movie Swing Vote because Kevin Costner's in it, and it's gonna be good." Who are these people? I want to meet them.
What it is? It's a grandpa movie. You take your grandpa to see that kind of movie, and maybe he likes Kevin Costner, so you're gonna go and you're gonna sit and watch a movie that's not your cup of tea with your grandpa. It's that kind of movie. And I remember seeing it going, well, I think my grandpa liked it, so it's okay.
Then here's something kind of like Mr. Brooks, because let's go dark Costner again. The New Daughter.
I don't even think I saw that one. Is that like a president's daughter one?
No.
New Daughter?
Think Mr. Brooks, right? Only he's the good guy and he's trying to, get his daughter back. Think like
Is it a
Ransom
cowboy movie again.
No.
Oh, is he trying to be Liam Neeson? Does he have a special set of skills?
Basically,
Okay.
to a degree, but a little bit lesser of a degree.
Oh wait,
Liam
is this
Neeson.
the one where he's in Paris and he's like an assassin?
You got it.
Oh, okay. He looked. I think that was bad casting in that one.
It was also bad cast.
The daughter's played by like a singer, right? I think she was in Pitch Perfect or something.
Yep. And then we're just working our way up to 2010 right now. We got Company Men.
I think I don't even remember that one. That one's really
it's easy to forget these movies, right? Man of Steel. He played Clark Kent's father, right?
I didn't mind him as the dad because he's like the sacrificial lamb. He's going to die in a really cool death. He had a good death in that movie.
Yeah, he did.
Yes, but every single one of his lines delivered is almost like he's delivering them from that death scene.
Well, fair enough.
Think about
it. He's going to pay for his sins, so they get rid of him.
It's almost like they just stuck him. It's almost like they said, but Kevin, why don't you want to do this movie? And he's like, I don't know if there's a lot of depth to it. Then they show him that one scene. He's like, okay, but I'm just going to basically be this guy in this scene throughout the whole movie, no matter what.
It's like De Niro and the Joker.
No, it's De Niro and the Joker was just,
Well, that's De Niro and the Joker's
unnecessary.
A callback to the
Taxi Driver.
Movie. No, the Scorsese movie did The Comedian.
Oh yeah, that was also.
That's more of a callback to that movie.
Yeah, and listen, Robert De Niro is a great actor, but he was not needed to be there. Anyone could have done that part, and I mean literally anyone. Get the guy that used to Talk Soup, John Henson.
John Henson.
Yeah, you could literally get anybody. So we're moving on from the company from Man of Steel to Jack Ryan, the Jack Ryan film series.
Is that the one with the Star Trek guy? What's his name?
Yep, you're right. The Star Trek guy.
I don't even remember Kevin Costner in those movies. He
was there. Oh, he was there. And exactly, his impact made was as much as a paycheck taken.
Oh, yeah. Chris Pine.
Same year. Chris Pine, yeah, Chris Pine. You got it. Okay, so same year, very limited time to kill. What would you call very limited time to kill there, Tony? I would call that about 3 days to kill. So 3 days to kill. So take Mr. Brooks, the new daughter, and blend them together, throw them in the fucking juicer, and you got 3 days to kill. You have literally that much range. He's not a very rangy actor. When you're saying be a serious serial killer, he's going to look at you the same way as he would give you the look in Mr. Brooks and in the new daughter. And of course, 2014, same year, he pumped out 3 movies in 2014. Actually, 5 movies in 2014. Draft Day.
No, you're gonna think Kevin Costner is an A-list actor, okay? No, he's bringing a lot to the table.
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
No, definitely,
actor,
100% A-list.
Where's his Oscars?
No, you know what's the problem with Draft Day though? Is Jennifer Garner plays his love interest, and how old was Jennifer Garner at that time? Like
exactly,
way too old for her. The initial premise that she's pregnant.
There are some actors that can make it work with the age difference, and you can't even tell because they're the like for example the movie Beethoven. You're familiar with the movie Beethoven?
You brought up a movie with Jim Carrey and Zooey Deschanel where he's playing a guitar, and the age difference there for Yes Man was crazy.
That was crazy. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 1,000% on that. Draft Day, I had a bigger problem with just since they can't really say all the NFL teams' names because they didn't all really sign off on the idea. Listen, if you can't get all these guys to sign off on the idea, don't make the movie. What are you doing? Like,
yeah, you can't make a movie about the NFL without actually mentioning the NFL.
2014 regarding Susan Sontag, then 2014 Black and White, then 2015 McFarland USA. It has Disney at the top, so if you think there's acting in there, well, it has Disney on the top.
It's a sports movie. It's kids running. It's a formulaic sports movie.
I called Kevin. It's basically Kevin Costner is the guy that you're gonna want when you need a white guy to play a person that might have an emotional scene once in a while. Can kind of play a strong.
No, wait. Here, I have to say this because Kevin Costner is like the ultimate dad role. Yeah.
Where?
Give him a horse. Like, why are you guys expecting him to give long monologues? Give him a horse. Give him something to protect. And that's the movie.
Give him a baseball and tell him to talk about how RBIs are fucking cool and hot dogs and shit. If you let him narrate about the Yankees, then there you go. You got your whole movie right there. The Art of Racing in the Rain, The Highwaymen, Molly's Game, Hidden Figures, Criminal. Just tell me when the needle is moving where you're like, oh, that movie, that is what changed my life.
No,
Wait,
but a lot of
that
those
he played,
movies,
like, the
he's not the
NASA
star
scientist.
of those movies. He's not the star in a lot of those movies. Hidden Figures, he's not the star of that movie. You know, he's really playing second fiddle to.
We'll get towards prime Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner. And we're talking only 1988 to 1995. It's a thin window, guys. All right. So 1988. We'll go 87 because that's even nicer. The Untouchables. Okay.
That was actually a good movie.
That's De Palma. You got De Palma directing all these big actors. That movie looked amazing. And he looked great in the period clothing in that movie. That was
absolutely
a great role for him.
Bull Durham.
Also another good movie.
A great sports movie.
88 and 89 was back-to-back baseball movies. Bull Durham, and then followed up with Field of Dreams. So they kept him in the baseball idea right there.
Mm-hmm.
Dances with Wolves.
Well, also another great movie.
We're getting into White Savior.
See? No, exactly. Nicole, he is testing his range, and we're starting to find out as an audience there isn't any. So it's
any kind of apocalyptic setting, as he would get into later, where he is the savior on water. Or
there's another one right after Dances with Wolves, which we also will call White Savior time. Robin Hood, literally Robin Hood.
Well, that mullet deserved its own movie.
That mullet was something.
1991, very good movie. Back and to the Left, JFK. Back.
Well, that's Oliver Stone, isn't it? Again, it depends on who he's working with.
Exactly. Yeah. So Oliver Stone wanted to put him in a movie, and you have some talented directors. The Bodyguard. And then in 1995,
don't gloss over The Bodyguard. Let's give The Bodyguard. Directed it. You got Whitney Houston, who you wouldn't think could carry that movie. That music, without that music.
It's kind of weird. They said that they wanted it. It's kind of weird because originally they wanted to pay her in Pepsi, but she wanted to be paid in Coke. Weird, right? These actresses.
All the jokes aside, I think I still really like The Bodyguard. I could still watch that.
It's watchable. Okay, it's watchable, but nothing Academy Award winning, right?
You're right, Spark. The Postman.
Postman's terrible. Another white savior, and he's on a horse.
Garbage.
The Postman is terrible.
Waterworld.
It won the Oscar for The Postman.
Mad Max
I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy about winning something for The Postman. Garbage. Tin Cup. Bad.
He's just a lazy. It's a sports movie. It's a lazy sports movie.
Tin Cup was Happy Gilmore without jokes.
Actually, Sparky's just showing how he won a Raspberry Award for the
he won a Raspberry Award.
And then he also won for The Postman.
Oh boy. And then of course 1995's biggest flop of all time, Waterworld, which is Braveheart in the future. Before Braveheart came out.
I'd say it's just Mad Max on water. You can
go.
Make fun of Waterworld. The story is bad, but there was 2 cooks in the kitchen. The sets were great. There's some cool ideas that just didn't work in that movie, but they worked in a different movie.
Kevin Costner being in the movie threw me off.
Well, so Kevin Costner wanted to direct the movie, and he was directing from in front of the camera. He kept fighting with the director. He wanted them to spend $6 million to make digital hair because he was going bald. Yeah. And he was responsible for so many bad expenses for that movie going over budget. You know what? In my opinion, I think who could have pulled off a Waterworld movie could have been Kurt Russell. Yeah, Snake Plissken. Like, who doesn't love Kurt Russell? When you think Kurt Russell in his prime, like, that's a man on a mission. He can rock a mullet. I love Kurt Russell. Yeah, he is probably he is the definite. He's what I think of when you have an actor with range and totally likable on film. You put him anywhere. If I could replace him with every movie Kevin Costner's ever done,
and instantly make it better. No offense against Kevin Costner, because he shouldn't take any offense. He should not have that big of an ego.
No, I love Kurt Russell. That would be fun to replace, do some deep fakes with replacing Kurt Russell.
Well, they tried Kurt Russelling a movie with Kevin Costner. It was called Graceland, 3,000 Miles to Graceland.
Oh, but they were both past their prime at that time, looking like old Elvises. That was a terrible
it was after 2000, past their prime. And then speaking of past your prime, we got Open Range. I know
that's in his wheelhouse of a cowboy. He's a
back
cowboy.
to cowboy land. Yeah, back to cowboys or baseballs. Cowboys or baseballs. That's it. Cowboys, baseballs, or I'm a detective guy, or maybe I'm a lawyer in this one. Yeah. But nothing really as rangy as a Kurt Russell, where you have to play a super soldier on a different fucking planet. Like, holy shit, how do you end up or escape from New York? It's just rumor has it with Jennifer Aniston. Wow, we all know how much.
That was just a
bad lives that changed.
Because there's a subplot where she thinks he's her dad and she still sleeps with him. And you're like, whoa.
Yeah. So
terrible movie.
I don't blame Kevin Costner's wife for divorcing him. She should get an award for sticking with him through all of these movie premieres. Okay, she had to go to all those movies. She was forced to watch it. This is abuse. Right? That is fucking abuse, Tony.
Just think, he made about between $1 and $3 million a movie. Wow. Just base range, I'm saying.
I mean, yeah.
I'm sure he laughed all the way to the bank. I'm sure.
I mean, hey, man, Philip Morris still makes money on cigarettes. I'm sure they feel great about it too. They made the world a better place with that whole idea.
When was Wyatt Earp? Like, that's when he directed. When in the timeline was Wyatt Earp?
Wyatt Earp.
Yeah, that was oof.
Might be it was if it was a long time ago. Let me see here. You got The Big Chill.
I want to say 95 at least, right?
Fandango, Silverado, Testament.
95.
95.
I'm just saying he's at that maybe height of his power, getting to direct and do whatever he wanted. A lot of money thrown at that one.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it did well at the time, but I think at the time they were like, well, this might be in his wheelhouse. Let's get big actors. Said no to different Quentin Tarantino movies at the time because of Wyatt Earp.
Yeah. Oh. Worst actor, worst remake of a sequel. Look at those wins. Good for Kevin Costner. I wouldn't see, and he's been branded well enough to the point where he's continuously casted. But one role that he just lost is husband to his wife. And yeah, I know when you can't play that
way to stick it in there and twist it around a little bit.
Well, let's be honest, Tony, she never nominated him for an award, so must not have been good at it. She nominated the gardener, kind of weird, right? But and the pizza delivery guy.
Let's wrap up this
let's
this Costner love fest.
It's a shit all over his life fest. Hey, Kevin Costner's wife, I just read the headline, but whoever you are, we're on your side, and he can't hurt you anymore. Okay.
Marky, what do you got? What do you got on the good old board? Tony during a Tom Hanks movie.
Oh,
ballin', dude. They just came out this great movie on Netflix. A guy named Otto.
Oh god.
Oh my god, man, ballin'.
Really? I'm gonna watch it, and I'm gonna, dude. I saw the trailer
like
for
a baby.
What? Okay. So if it's a crying scene that you're worried about, let me guess. Otto has a sickness. Is he sick? Okay, so he lives alone.
He does, but there's other things besides his sickness.
Okay, and then it's Tom Hanks.
It's a formulaic movie, but it's based off a novel, and
yes,
they're gonna make some changes with it. But again, it's a kind of movie that placates to the audience. It wants you to feel certain things. There's a weird digital cat in it where you're like, wow, why couldn't they just had a real cat on set? Yeah. So there's things like that might take you out of it. You're like, wow, okay.
Doesn't his son direct the movie? Am I wrong about that?
I don't think so. I'd have to look that up. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Because I think that that it was scrutinized. The only reason I say that is because I remember that it was being scrutinized for him being casted in the movie because his son had something to do with it.
Nah, he did a great job with the movie, man.
Maybe one of his family members plays the young version of him.
Maybe.
I would believe that. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll find it.
Anywhoozy. Sparky, if you were going to find us to placate the podcasting possibilities, where would you find us there?
Well, you can watch us for free on every single major streaming platform, including...
Whoa, what a deal.
I know, absolutely nothing. But YouTube, Facebook
The only
Live
thing
video,
you have to do is pay attention.
iHeartRadio, Google Play, Spotify, Spreaker, Deezer, Castbox. I said iTunes already. I already said iTunes already. I said iTunes already there. I said it four times now.
All right.
What about iTunes?
How about iTunes?
Maybe. Not sure.
Yeah, definitely Spotify.
The Geo Rio. And then
Rio.
there's also like 6 or 7 other platforms that Tony told me of last week, but I can't remember any of them because I didn't write
You
any of them.
type in the
write all those
Podguyz.
down again.
Well, it's Sparky. I really like your shirt there, and I think I know where you got it. I think you got it from merchbooth.com. Merchbooth.com, where you can find all of the Podguyz podcast here. You go to merchbooth.com, you look at the words, it says podcast, click on podcasts, and the Podguyz podcast will be there with all of your shirts, hoodies, tank tops, socks, headbands, all the Podguyz
Our
podcast
shirts are
gear you
crossing
can
the
find.
world right now. Crossing.
No, I know. We're going through a lot of them, which is great because we appreciate everybody out there that are buying the shirts and the hoodies and stuff. It warms our hearts, and hey, we can pay the bills around here like Tony is paying for Zoom and stuff like that.
Sure.
And we just appreciate it. Share, like with your friends, and of course, check out Nicole meneses.
Well, thanks for having me on, guys. It's been a lot of fun. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing your life with us. Of course, your dream, the dream.
I'll keep you posted. It's the first of many movies. That's the hope. So
We can't wait. We can't wait until it comes out. We're very excited. Check out for more content. If you guys like us, share. Make sure you put everything down on the Podguyz Podcast. I'm Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neary.
Of course, the ever-loving Picasso.
Sparky.
Les Sparky. Guys,
All right,
thank you very
Nicole
much for
Meneses,
watching.
For hearing my
Nicole,
dogs. Have a good night,
Check her
guys.
out. Check out the movie. Bye, everyone.